XB. Welcome to Right About Now Poetry in Houston, Texas. If you don't know where you are exactly where you need to be. Do me a favor, please. I'm the host, so you have to say yes. Make some noise if you're sitting next to somebody beautiful. Make some noise if you are somebody beautiful. I think y'all made more noise in the second one, but that's okay. It's all love around here. Loud love. Loud and love is the genre for tonight. If you don't know, this is the Latinx Poetry Open Mic. We are almost towards the end of Hispanic Heritage Month, which is actually 2 months because it starts in the middle of September and ends in the middle of October. We're beautifully complicated ass fucking people. And so, all year, we're going to bring that energy tonight. Audience, I have a few ground rules. First, raise your hand if you've never been to a poetry open mic ever in your life. Okay, let's make some noise for them, for the newcomers. Now, those of you who've been around the block, make some noise like you've been here before. So, we're going to do something that I inherited from one of my poetry homes called Neo Soul. Whenever we have a poet that's coming up to the stage, I'm going to ask you, audience, are you ready for the next poet? And you all say in sync, in unison, bring them up, bring them up, bring them up. And we're going to do that for every single poet tonight, okay? It makes us present, it makes us here, it makes you a part of the show. So we're going to practice real quick, okay? We have the first poet of the show. Give it up for Poet A. Oh, wrong. No, I was wrong. That was a test. Are you ready for the first poet of the night? That's when you're supposed to say, bring him up, bring him up, bring him up. But the energy behind the ooh was good. That was real good. That's why we practice. Now, for the first poet of the night. Oh, that was really good. Just don't ever go below that. Like only go up, okay? So tonight, not everybody likes the term Latinx, Hispanic. That's language, right? So please come up here and say who you are. Feel free to embrace your identity. Latinidad is vast in multitude and layers. So we're not making rules up here. We want your stories on the mic. That's why we curated it for tonight. So if you didn't go on the list tonight, come back next week. Come back the week after that. Keep supporting poetry because you matter. Supporting art matters, all right? I'm your host, Zachary Caballero. You have a feature all the way from Albuquerque, New Mexico, Mercedes Holtree in the back with her beautiful family. You're going to learn more about Mercedes, but you will stay here through the whole show or I will tackle you out the door. So, audience, we respect this mic. If you got a phone call, take it outside. I will see you. Secondly, please take pictures and tell your friends that you wish they were here and they're not here. And they should be jealous that they're not listening to poetry in Houston on a Wednesday night after a rainstorm. Okay? Lastly, this event was sponsored by the law firm of Padilla and Rodriguez, of which I am a first-generation trial lawyer at, and a poet as well. So we're a local Houston law firm. We do personal injury, represent people, plaintiffs, and I'm always here if you need something. I don't want you to need me, but sometimes that's life. Now, audience, those are my housekeeping rules. Are you ready for the first poet of the night? Start clapping. Start building energy. Start making noise for the first poet of the night, Kane.
Hola. Me llamo Kane. Thank you so much for being here. If you like my poetry, please follow me on Instagram at Kano Poem Kano. That's Kano Poem Kano. Kano Poem Kano, no spaces. Every morning, I wake up Hispanic. Either I feel like pollo or I smell like my grandma. I sit up with immediate memories of mi madre con mi padre, a mess en la mesa while they mold masa out of humidity, wets backs worse than working on weekends. You see, no matter the season, I'll never forget the feeling of my family's seasoning. But they always say, how can King claim Hispanic if we never hear him speak Spanish? ¿Por qué? When my family's elders were raised, fuck getting straight A's, it was probably hard enough having to explain to every goddamn white paper exam that they require number 2 pencils but never give number 2 students a chance. And we make less than free lunch while the government makes lunch out of us. Damn, how many brown paper bags does it take to say that this tastes like it sucks? But they've already scored our whole race while we're just chasing their tax. But we're done looking back. Us Hispanics don't need to be reminded who's coming in last. Why don't I speak Spanish? Because my parents focused on English so their kids would do better in school. You see, it's easier for you to add an app to your phone, Duolingo, than it is for us to adapt to being bilingual. But you best better believe that the beaner in me burst through this burrito. I grew up on picadillo, love the smell of our menudo, and if I got a spirit, I bet that shit's tequila. And I don't know what the fuck Bad Bunny's saying, but he got me in my feelings. And you can claim I'm not plantain, but this banana's still appealing. And I'm quick to get salty. They ordered a white boy, but I serve it with tahini. Yeah, most of my family speaks Spanish. And they can hear you when you say that their kids aren't Hispanic. Just imagine, they chose to learn to spell the word pragmatic while your words made their language vanish. And now I'm more American meat and less mama's Mexican mijo. In a city where these red light streets never stop, all they see is gringo. And yeah, it sucks that I know more about getting straight A's in Spanish class than actually speaking Spanish. But then I think about where all these A's have brought me to be. And then I think about all my English-speaking cousins and how we all have degrees. And I'm not saying you can't straighten your grades if you grow up bilingual, but if your parents had a hard time having a voice in school, then why would they force 2 languages onto you too? And then they say, but Mexicans speak Spanish. And I say, no, Mexicans work a lot. Because where I grew up, all the button-ups weren't screaming, Viva la raza. We were buttoning up, screaming, Viva la, 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 la. Wait till I get my money right. Oh. Yeah, I check white on every box that I see, and if that makes me any less of who I was born to be, then whoever decided that mess means less to me. And you're mad at me for checking all the boxes and tell me I'm not checking all the boxes. Damn, your translation is obnoxious, and you can't just subtitle all my problems. No, they want us to remember how we got lifted but forget how we were raised. But it's already too late. The price has already been paid. Was it a fair trade? Who's to say? A language given up for brighter days. A better English speaker, better pays, better raise. And all my mother gave was half her name. And when they hear my baby's name, they will say more hoorays than orales. And I'll remember what it means to sacrifice.
That's how you kick down a door. Give it up for Kane. Kano, Poem Kano was the IG, I believe. Yeah, that was a dope-ass poem. Thanks for the love for the poet, y'all. Let's keep that energy. Y'all ready for the next poet? Okay, start clapping then. Start making noise. Start building energy for Jada Luciano.
Hey, how you doing? I'm not gonna touch that. My name is Jada Luciano. Y'all probably like, how is she like Latin or something? I'm black or Afro Latino or whatever, how they be saying. I hope y'all enjoy this piece. To the little Afro Latino girl bullied in elementary school, I pray that you have forgiven and prayed for the girls that preyed on you, that you don't continue to internalize all of the times you were criticized and made fun of just little girls a few months older than you were, fighting wars within themselves, hiding from the mere possibility of getting burned or injured was much easier to raise attack amongst the smaller camps nearby. Crazy that even at our young age, we understood the fear and danger of controlled firearm. Crazy that even at our young age, we'd rather pull the trigger towards the innocent than to humble ourselves enough to the idea of being split open. Everyone wants to be seen and understood until it's time to see and understand themselves. You see you, but you not seeing you. Understanding you, but not wanting to hold on to, not wanting to live to what felt like a little dying thing. So now I have a question for my oppressor. Who'll be the girl on the other side of your reflection? Did it hurt to see her? Was the pain she enforced on you the spark? Did it set enough rage to set a war that forced the little girls like me to think that I too was only a little dying thing? You see, us humans, we project only when denial is present. Crazy. If the rope tied to my third grade restroom stall tied around my neck was tight enough, my casket would have been the greatest music box, but I instead turned into the greatest testimony. Would have rather died instantly, painting the pavement with my heart and truth, than to slowly die hiding from the fact that without help, without healing, without direction and guidance from our Creator, without direction and guidance from God, we are all simply sleepwalking Barbie dolls packaged inside pretty caskets. But please know that wrapping a dying thing in wrapping paper and painting it with glitter don't stop the dying thing from dying. To the little Afro-Latino girl bullied in elementary school, I pray that you have forgiven and prayed for the girls that preyed on you. She didn't realize she was preying only on her own reflection, but they still prayed. She prayed but couldn't land the killing. They didn't know. She didn't know. See, the prayer warriors don't play when it comes to me. There is always somebody praying for me. Jada Luciano.
Give it up for Jada. Give it up for Jada. Hold, please. Hello. Stand by. Ooh, it worked. Thank you, Amir, for coming to my rescue almost. So there were so many people who raised their hand for the first time as a new poetry listener. I forgot to go over one other thing. So everybody just collectively say, bad host. Oh, I'll take my licking. So I want you to know, if you like something that a poet says, if something resonates with you, if you feel urge to give energy to the poet, you are encouraged to do so. Can everybody snap? Yeah. Can everybody say, woo? We can all clap our hands. Now, there is a weapon you can use at an open mic that I do not encourage, and it's the rewind button. But, there is, no, just kidding. And it's when you hear something so dope, so absolutely gorgeous or funny or silly or hilarious, you want to rewind. Now, please do not abuse this power. With great power comes great responsibility. So keep that in mind, that you are encouraged to give energy to the poets, because they'll give that energy back to you all. Everybody say word. Okay, let's keep it rolling. Y'all ready for the next poet? Okay, let's try that one more time. Y'all ready for the next poet? Start clapping. Start making noise. Start giving energy to Carlos Salazar. Check, check, mic check. 1 2 1 2 1 2. We got a new chord. I'll give everybody about a minute or two, and then we'll get Carlos back up. Thank you for your patience. Back on in 2 minutes, folks. So grab your drinks, grab whatever you need, and get your butt back in a seat. All right, all right, all right. Matthew McConaughey style. Let's get this show back on the road. Audience, how we feeling? Make some noise. You know, that's how you know we're real. We have problems. We problem solve. No one yelled up here. We got together as a team. All for you all. So thank you. Thank you for waiting. All right. So, audience, let's run that back. I'm going to rewind. Are you ready? Are you ready for the next poet? Start clapping. Start making noise. Start building energy for Carlos Salazar.
I don't even want to touch the mic, but I have to. Check, check, check. We good? If your friends are in the bathroom, you need to text them right now. All right? Looking at you. So, I'll make this real quick. Me llamo Carlos Salazar. Nací en Honduras. He vivido aquí desde que tenía 6 años. And this is a poem that I dedicate to my mother and her mother and their mother and like one person on my dad's side. Here we go. I'm over 3.5 decades in, and what a wild ride it's been. I've been to almost every single one of the United States that you could name, and over a dozen more that I'm absolutely sure you've all forgotten are even there. I've got memories that linger still from the bright lights and the long nights spent in the Nevada deserts of Las Vegas. And I've embraced the unforgiving cold that dances in the wind atop the highest platform in the skies just above New York City. Well, I've even swam with dolphins in the crystal waters of the Caribbean Sea, and I have stood at the highest point of France's Eiffel Tower. With these two eyes, I've seen the sun set off the coast of Ireland, and I've watched it rise where the sea meets the sky in a hazy dawn just above the coast of Wales. I've been to the foothills of China. With my own 2 feet, I've stood upon the Great Wall. I've lingered even at the edge of the world in the depths of Thailand, from the busy, crowded city streets of Bangkok to the paradise islands of Phuket, and I've watched the tide erode away at each and every precious moment that we have upon this earth. But I never once forget the poverty-stricken streets of the Dominican Republic, or the unknown faces of all the children born within the borders of Honduras, all of whom, like me, are a foreigner in every other land. And I know even now that I speak a language that is not my own, but I dominated. Just like your job and your girl, this immigrant came to take it from you and to cultivate from it a much better fruit, from the seeds of opportunity withering away beside your feet while you cry and piss and moan about the relentless spirit that steers my people's drive in our enduring pursuit of happiness. But you will joke and jest at their expense around me as if I were more like you than them, because my skin's a little lighter and I don't speak with an accent. But make no mistake, every immigrant child across every migrant camp, when you look into their eyes, every one of them is me. They just don't speak English yet, but I do. And they've got a message for us all, for all of us who swore with empty words and hopeful hearts that we would stand against tyranny and bigotry and oppression. The soft cries of young brown mothers stripped of their offspring. The soft whispered prayers of young brown children locked in steel cages. Their cries are a call to action. To our marginalized brothers in arms, to my feminist and LGBTQ communities, my immigrant mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters march with you. So stand with us. Prove to us, the brown brethren drowning in the rivers and dying at the gates of the most prosperous nation on earth, that your marches across America are not just another step in the ladder that is white supremacy. To my vegan and animal rights activists, please forgive my condescension at the phrase cruelty-free when it's my poor and brown people dying at the gates of democracy. This nation loves to sing about the proud and the brave and the free, but I swear that we are cowards if we dare to look away, because every immigrant child across every camp, when you look into their eyes, every one of them is me. They just don't speak English yet, but I do. And when they make it, like I did, we're finally able to provide our family with the kind of life they told us we don't deserve. Those who give power and a voice to our oppressors will have the audacity to congratulate us on our success. They'll ask us how we made it. They'll ask us how we did it. But they'll have to forgive my condescension when they search for inspiration in a story they did everything they could, every single step of the way, to try to unravel. Because the answer is the same in my heart as it is in the heart of every immigrant child across the world. We did it standing on the backs of our mothers, our fathers, our brothers and sisters. We stood on the shoulders of giants who stood fearless in the face of Goliaths. Our fathers and mothers and brothers and sisters, they didn't speak English, but I do. And they taught me, you don't have to be fearless, but you're going to have to be brave. Because every immigrant child across every migrant camp, when you look into their eyes, every one of them is me.
Give it up for Carlos Salazar. I think he used that break to power up and release that beautiful poem. Thank you very much, Carlos. Thank you so much. Give it up for the giants that paved the way before us. Those whose stories are our stories. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, audience, love the energy, love where we're at. Let's keep it rolling. Are y'all ready for the next poet? Start clapping, start building energy for Javier Martinez.
What up, y'all? Shout out to the WAN poetry crew for giving us a night, yeah? All right, so I started writing this poem influenced by Jeffrey McDaniel and hey, you like it? New shit, yeah. Wind up being influenced by Saul Williams and the like. So here we go. On September 28th, 2012, my father composed a short reflection in his journal, and in pencil, he a four-paragraph piece called The Choice. He wrote about being a man that devoted his educational life to serving minority children, to serve in migrant education and bilingual education and vocational education. And in the third paragraph, he wrote, the decision caused both of his sons to choose a life of service. One became a Boy Scout leader. The other worked in an inner city school. And the fourth paragraph read, the decision to serve goes on. 4 days later, on October 1st, 2012, he was dead. And as far as I know, that fourth paragraph was the last paragraph my father and I, his son, and that teacher. And while I'm not in the inner city, I'm certainly in a place where most of the students of color are blessed with the gift of two languages. I am the son of those who teach and serve the migrant, the bilingual, and the Chicano. I teach students named Panda who wear waffle shirts all year round because his gang tattoos send off too many alarms with the administration. I teach students named Maria whose tattoos are on the inside of her lip because she's waiting for her past to die. I teach Marcos who needed a pair of shoes for prom, so I gave him mine and then taught him how to tie a tie. Then almost 11 years to the day, my beautiful stepdaughter asked if I still think about my parents. She asked between bites of waffle fries at our kitchen table, and she had a hint of mist in her eyes from wandering through her own field of sorrow over the loss of someone close to her. And I said, yes, I remember them, but my remembrances are different now. And I quoted C.S. Lewis when he said that when somebody dies, the relationship isn't over, it just changes shape. I told her that I think about them in small moments when I'm mentoring her or when I'm teaching students to reflect on their knowing. I told her that my memories of my parents are no longer heavy carnivals of sadness, but more like tiny sparklers in the hands of a child first learning to hold light. And I don't cry because my stepdaughter, they won't see my stepdaughter sing her first solo. I don't cry because they weren't there for my wedding. I cried because we sang Vicente Fernandez together on Saturday mornings, cleaning the house. I cried because we went to weddings together. I cry because I remember how my mom and I danced at my brother's anniversary. 2 generations in swirl and song. And even though the dementia had already made himself home on her couch, she still knew the words and she still knew how to sing. I cry because I too have chosen to serve. I serve Panda, Pia, and Marcos, and I teach them to write. And while my dad wasn't the most consistent writer, he always encouraged me to write. Bad breakup? Write it down, mijo. You got that first gig? Mijo, write it down. You got your first professional interview? Write it down, mijo. And so now I teach that to my students. Escriben. Write it down, young ones. Write for yourself. Write to preserve your ancestors. Write to preserve the names of those lost crossing the hot desert to get you here. And I know that the heaviest thing in the universe is an empty journal. It's heavier than the weight of you being the first in your family to graduate from high school. It's heavier than the water bottles that your family carried across the desert. And I want you to listen. Can you hear the journal pages clanging back and forth like the train that brought your name from El Salvador, Guatemala, or Honduras? Is that empty journal heavier than the name that you brought here? And sometimes the answer is yes, because an empty journal carries with it potential. And that's the thing about keeping your writing in one place. Journals are like the heart, and they only get lighter when you fill them with things.
Write it down, y'all. Give it up for Javier Martinez. Make some noise if a teacher had an impact on your life. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful, man. So it's raining. Poets, be careful when you're walking up on stage because we may move the mic, but right now we're not going to. So y'all ready for the next poet? Start clapping, start building energy, start making noise for Amanda Lopez.
Hey, y'all. Okay. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. Thank you. If you happen to like what you hear, I have books for sale in the back. $10. Come holla, you know. So this is going to be some new shit. All right. So I'm biracial. My mom is from Texas. My father's from Honduras, but I don't know him. And this is going to be about that. It's called Tiny Present. Hello? Better? Okay. Bueno, no. Sometimes I don't know who I am. I don't know if I'm a white girl with identity issues or a Latina that needs her culture. Maybe both. Imposter syndrome like a motherfucker, but I know what my blood calls to. Sometimes I don't know if I'm thankful to not know him or I just want to see him to punch him in the face for never bothering to be there. He didn't exist then. He doesn't exist now. Who even knows if he's still alive? Somehow my heart says it would be better if he were dead. Then he would have a reason to not look for me, to not bother to let me see his face just once. Mi bambino, he'd say, as he would rub my mother's tummy. He would sing to me. He would love my mother, or at least that's what I hope. My blood sings to me now because it is also yours. You with your salt and pepper hair, brown eyes like mine, missing finger, love for soccer, and maybe an undercover drug dealer, who knows? She didn't tell me all the secrets. But I know I was a summer love baby of 91, come 92, looky who came to stay, and I'm here by some miracle. Maybe you needed to give her this miracle. Maybe you thought my light was too bright and you bounced right on out of sight, never looking back, but it's cool. I'm making it. Taking it day by day, but maybe one day I could run into you and say, I really do look like you. For now, I'll just practice in the mirror, practicing forgiving and hoping for vision that's clearer, but whether you finally find me or not, thanks for giving me to Mom. It means a lot. Thank you.
Give it up for Amanda Lopez. So, Make it up for DJ Get It Ready, who has been ready all night with the jams. Make some love, make some noise for the DJ. Give him some love. Thank you to Lalo in the back on the bar. So if you've ever wanted how to get on this stage or to perform in front of an audience of strangers and share your soul, we do it every week. So on Tuesdays, next Tuesday at Rudyard's, there will be a poetry slam, a competition hosted by Shanika Mitchell. Go to it. It'll be really fun. The next day, come here again to right about now at Avant Garden for an open mic. It'll be a brand spanking open mic, so you can come get on this list, because I promise you, the more you get on, the more you want to encourage others to do the same. Y'all ready? Yeah, all right. So I'm ready for the next poet. Are y'all ready for the next poet? Start clapping. Start making noise for Arlene, the smiling soul assailant. And it's her first time on the microphone tonight. Ever. Popping that poetry.
Can someone lower this down for me a little? I'm a little short with T-Rex arms. Thank you. Y'all, I'm hella nervous. All the time. Happens all the time. All right. So this goes out to the nigga that just hurt me. All right. And it started in 2018. Before I met him in 2023. So I've met wolves in sheep's clothing. I've met false shepherds. I have yet to meet the devil God send. That's 28. 20. I met you. I have met the devil God send, and I fear thee. For the siren is so sweet. That siren sound just kills me. Bitch, you talk amazing. Atomic mushroom cloud. Tears that drowned. Seen first, heard last. Oof. Love bombed. Y'all know that. The devil God send with your rhythm and beat. Smooth tongued. Well spoken. I introduce to you the lyrical master. That's me. The loudest of silence, felt unheard, seen in ripples, surfacing waves. Like a melodic, symphonic, high frequency tsunami crashing over me, crashing over you, crashing over everyone. Your sweet sounding, choking rip current of distortion, pulling me under, deep down under. So here I am in your avoidant, So, in your avoidant, confusing, loud, and silent chaos. Violent and melodically, muffled, diving, deep, and witty. I am. What a ditty for a pity. And that is the sound of chaos. Devil godsend.
Good for Arlene, first time on the microphone. And what to name the smiling soul assailant. Just say it 5 times fast. All right, audience, thank you for y'all's energy. So we're going to keep it rolling. We have a few more poets for our intermission. We're a little bit behind, and then you'll have a little break. We'll do a selfie break. It'll be all types of fun. So let's keep it rolling. Audience online, we love you. DJ, get it ready. We love you. Door people, we love you. Avant-garde, and we love you. Audience, depends on how much I love you. Ready for the next poet? Okay, I love you. Start clapping. Start building energy for Nico Abasajian. Vamos.
I got so excited about this, I invited my mom. Yeah, there we go. And then I wrote something just for her. So new shit. I could have only been made in a place like this. Indigenous, African, European, mixed like the music I listen to. Like the people I'm friends with, like the family I love, like the places I'm from. I'm just a little more intense. Mestizos have been fucking in Colombia for generations. By force, invasion, indoctrination, I fucking know there was love. My mother's blood is the histories of all her peoples. Discovery and exploitation, cross-contamination, emphatic cultural diffusion. I mean, everywhere is a fusion of music ideas and technology, but in Colombia, we celebrate it musically. She taught me that one of the beauties and privileges of our complex mix is the salsa we listen to. The drums from Africa mixed with instruments from the Caribbean and European inventions smashed together to make salsa. My mother must have held me as a baby and danced because I don't remember a time I didn't have rhythm. When my mom carried me, she passed it on. For 9 months, she put herself into me, and she still tells me it was easy, but I know it was a lie. I can count. I was born 10 pounds. Strangers would ask her when she was due, and the date would still be a month out. She and I were both huge. I got my size from my dad. He's Russian and Armenian, too. Both my parents came here for school. They met and graduated from University of Houston. Had me at a well-planned age, and I'm sure she danced with me in her womb. I imagine it looked a lot like how my tias do when they close their eyes, swaying alone, forgetting they're on their own, letting the music sink into their bones. It looks like they dance while they remember the times they'd listened to the same song before. This poem is from my mother, a powerful woman of opinion and fire, of love and grit, of justice and patience. My mother means everything to me. And she taught me about our ancestry by explaining salsa music. Our heart still beats with rhythms from Africa. Our feet know we still stand on land we've stood on since time began. We're the first Americans. Our tongues may speak a colonized tongue or two, but we honor all our sanguine relatives and still sing the Spanish we were taught. My second tongue is my mother's. I grew up no sabo. And my first only belongs to the primos, and we try hard to sound natural, but we're mixed. And we could have only been made in a place like this. I'm a child of many worlds, of many lands, of many earths. Children of mixed birth know it's hard to find a place to call home, too similar to be too different to be similar, too similar to be distinct. I didn't always know how I fit in. I'm Colombian, Armenian, Russian, American, mixed, but my Colombian mother has always let me know that I'm her own. And the salsa we celebrate together, that's ours.
Let's go, Nico Abasajian. A poem for his mama. Let's give it up for the poet one more time and his mama. It's like that scene in Big Daddy where everyone wants to call their mom, be like, hey, mom, like, by the way, I love you so much. Okay, so, wow, what's dope is Nico's going to do another poem in the second round. So y'all get to hear some more stuff. But, audience, I want to keep it focused on the poets and get us to that intermission. We can stretch our legs, get our tacos. So we got about 4 more poets. Can y'all rock with me? Can y'all rock with me? Yeah, all right. So, are y'all ready for the next poet? We'll start clapping, start making noise, start building energy for Michael Montoya.
This is some new shit titled Letter to My Ancestors. Mi nombre es Miguel Ángel Montoya. I'm the byproduct of some of the most brave, brilliant, and beautiful people that ever live on this land. I come from kings and queens who would have cut your head off if you came to them mean. But as long as you didn't, they would offer you peace and love until they were betrayed. Given blankets, bathed in biological warfare without a care of the repercussions that'll happen, like the people who were murdered simply for existing. Thousands of years of history just burned and destroyed due to Caucasoid greed. But now if I wish to find which tribe is mine, I gotta pay the white man a fee. Ain't that some shit? Charging me to find the origin of these cheekbones, this brown skin, these big stones. Because if a shit show didn't come from the white man, was my ancestors' history just another casualty of war? Am I supposed to just ignore that my people were possibly killed right under this floor? Because I don't think I can. I'm just not that type of man. I got a hyperfixation. I'm making a plan to make this shit right. Even if it takes on my might.
Give it up for Michael Montoya, Miguel Montoya. Thank you very much, poet. Shout out to the Spurs. I used to go to Spurs games growing up. I'm not a Spurs fan, but I'm nostalgic. Okay, audience. Just so you know, right about now, you should follow them on Instagram. They don't got a Pinterest, but they got like everything else. Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. You'll always be in the know for poetry events. And sometimes there's events outside of Houston too. So just keep that on the loop. If you don't follow them, please follow them. And we got 3 more poets left. Audience, I love y'all. Y'all ready for the next poet? Start clapping, start building energy, making noise for Chavo Flaco.
I wasn't ready. There you go. Yeah, that's the spirit. So I stand here, as is typical when I'm on the mic, but especially tonight with high expectations of myself. My mind works to try and find a way that is both colorful and profound to describe the tearing of children's flesh by what is essentially a pool toy with hardware equipment crudely attached to it. And that's before, on the same river that takes countless people's lives, even before some knockoff NASCAR Professor X looking ass bitch decided to put them there. Yet, a badass poet once stood on this mic and said, nothing I do is minute, even if it's a haiku. So I stand here today with high expectations of myself and also some haikus. Do it already. Dude, shut up. Shut the fuck up. Get over yourself. Lambs and lions lay. Sorry, I'm just like go through them all. It's gonna be awkward. It's just like one tiny poem after. All right. Lambs and lions lay. Spiders cease to build their webs. The coyote starves. That's 5 syllables. It's 5 syllables, I promise. Thank you. Awkward eye contact. Sweating through layers of clothes. I've got kids to feed. Fuck. I don't need to look. I remember it. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that's what I said. I told you. All right. A car bomb goes off. The victim's unknown to me. Meant for my primo. I've slit a man's throat. I'm such a nice guy, I swear. I've got holes pre-dug. Edward said there's a little man in my webcam. Big brother watching. World capitalist. Military money tree. But. Pop that pussy, girl. Bust it down for a real one. Get that money, bitch. Solidarity. No one is free. Nobody is free until everyone is free. Poem.
Give it up for Chavo Flacco and the haiku at the National Poetry Slam, which is now no longer active. They had a haiku death match, and it sounds exactly what it sounds like. And so the haiku, thank you very much, Chavo Flacco. All right, we got two more poets before we end out our first round of our open mic. Audience, y'all ready for the next poet? Start making noise, start clapping, start building energy for Enzo.
What's up, Houston? Y'all look fucking beautiful and hot. I'm fucking sweating bullets. I want to take my fucking shirt off. Take it off? Take it off. All right. All right, so look, this some new stuff, new shit. Come on. All right, cool. So if I get silent for a second, I need the audience to say what the fuck rhymes with the American dream. Bet? Okay. Ready, let's go. As a South American teen, I always wanted to share in a piece of the American dream. But the American dream was like comparing a pear and a bean or a bear and a parakeet. Because it was very rare to me, and I could barely believe seeing esteemed people pull up a chair in the street and bear witness to the terrible screams as they carry their entire family tree to bury them with a piece and a share of their American dream. A place where they built a barrier between what used to be such a narrow stream. Then we get corralled by carriers and Marines, brought back to the peril and grief of the unbearable streets of the Central and Southern American streets. A place where it didn't matter if you were barely a seed. They stare at we arrogantly because we inherited our parents' seed. Like, how dare he share the same air that we breathe and not share a name like Sharon, Karen, Sarah, Corrine, or Eric, Harry, Larry, and Steve. Where the hatred, the POTUS used to be a photoist, and the hatred would blare on the screen to the extreme that some of us were scared to carry ID. But you know what else rhymes with the American dream? How they stare in anger because this alien being ain't scared to be seen. And I will not apologize if it is scary to see that I'm loud, proud, caramel brown to the day that they're burying me. So Thank you. So thank you for letting me share my piece on the American dream. And minorities, remember, we bleed the same motherfucking way that the self-proclaimed Aryans bleed.
We didn't plan that. It just happened. Thank you, Enzo. Enzo went in. He did. Enzo went in. Okay, all right. We have one more poet for this first round. If I didn't call you, don't worry. You're gonna go up in the second round. Don't sweat it. I got you. So, audience, y'all ready for the last poet of the first round? All right. That was like not very good. I'm gonna be honest. So we're gonna run that back. Okay. Who said that? Y'all ready for the next poet? Bring him up. Please put your hands together for Christopher Allen.
Hey, y'all can hear me? I know, it's crazy. They know me. What? Okay. I didn't know who y'all were talking about, so it's okay. I wasn't ready for Enzo. He did that whole shirt shit. I ain't doing that. I'm thick, baby. I ain't gonna do all that. All right. So, I wrote this and I dedicated it to my mom. My family is not big. All Latino families are huge, right? Like 16, 7 cousins and shit. I ain't that. It's me, my mom, and my daughter. That's it. That's family to me. So this is what it is. Family portrait. I was told before that blood is thicker than water, and as that may be true, what do you do when the blood that flows through your veins is only halfway familiar to you? See, my mother raised the man you see before you. Every aspect of me came from her. My etiquette, grammar, ideologies, my name. The only thing of value that my dad ever gave me was pain. So how does one appreciate the love of his past ancestry? How do I honor any history of the many individuals that came before me? How do I love myself entirely when I have no recollection of who I am because it's all foreign to me? I apologize to the ones on my family side. I know these words probably gonna cut deep, but understand this is the product of what happens when a father ignores, destroys, and puts down and abuses the greatness that's right here in what you see. I don't claim that last name, and all I know is it means king. I'd rather keep the middle one because some things are just supreme. I don't care to hold a title. With all of me, I recognize the person that is right here in what you see. I don't need to be reminded of the sad song that my father seems to sing. Blames everyone for what is wrong while all along giving me hinted aspects of a dream. A dream that will never come true, this dream that will never be. I feel the damaged, broken silence scream underneath the flesh of this tough exterior you see. I sometimes wonder if somewhere down the line there was another version of myself that did the same shit as me. Break free from his own because he didn't feel part of what a family was meant to be. Definitions of the word run loosely among us, especially when none of us even speak. How big is this family? Oh, it's just my daughter, my mom, and me. That's it. And to be honest, that's all I ever really gonna need. It's been that way for years, but don't get it twisted. If I had myself to go above and beyond and find myself a queen, see, I want to be a husband. I would love to have a son and start my own branch within this dying family tree. Educate and teach the passages he needs to go from adolescence to masculinity. Show the things that my mother instilled in me. Show that you stay regardless of the issue. Man should never leave. Show that loving her past her pain is something she's gonna need. That sometimes a woman is gonna test your patience and she's gonna yell and scream, say that there's no reason to raise your hands to her and let her get past that because that's just momentarily. Tell him that as a gentleman, you must be kind and have some wisdom. And for God's sakes, when it comes to that woman, I can't stress it enough. Just listen. Say things like, I understand your greatness and not everything is meant for you. Be protective of what is yours and learn to be forgiving too. Teach him how to be thankful because life takes things away. And sometimes you're going to feel pain, but being vulnerable is okay. Discover your talents and know that I'll support your every dream. I'll instill the knowledge that I have, the same as my mother did for me. Our family portrait may be small, but it's the best parts that you're gonna come to find from me. We may not have what others expect to see, but that's what we are, a family.
Give it up for Christopher Allen and family. And not like the Fast and Furious style, like real family, you know. I'm just playing. Okay, y'all. So listen. Intermission. I know some of y'all are leaving. You're missing the big important thing. I'm just kidding. Intermission. Go get a drink. Go get a taco. Go to the bathroom. You like the poem? Go tell a poet. You enjoyed their work. But first, please, we like to do a selfie break before we release everybody. So I have a game or an additional incentive for your selfie. So if you tag Right About Now Poetry, WN Poetry, and take a picture or tag that law firm, Padilla Rodriguez LLP, in your selfie, 5 people who do that, you'll get tickets to all the Right About Now poetry shows in October. So if you take a selfie and tag 2 accounts, oh my God, this is so simple. We will pick 5 random people who do that. And every October show will be free for you and a friend. Can we say more poetry? Okay. So I'm going to do one big audience selfie, and then y'all can do y'all's own selfie. Is that cool? Is that cool? All right. Okay. 1, 2, 3. All right. Take y'all selfie. Go on. We'll be back at 9:30 sharp. 9:30 sharp. Emphasis on the mission, on intermission. If you're a poet that wanted to go do a second poem, let me know.
Tus historias, tu número no sé pa' qué si me lo sé de memoria. Me hiciste daño, casi te extraño. Aunque sé que un día te voy a olvidar, aún no lo hago, es complicado. Lo que hicimos me gusta recordar. Ando bailando por las calles, tú me besaste, oyendo las canciones que me amor. Pero eso no se pide, pero le pido a Dios que me cuide, porque ando bailando por las calles, tú me besaste, oyendo las canciones que me amor. Quiero que comience por ti, ojalá te enamores. Lo mismo que me hiciste a mí, me enseñaste a amar a cualquiera. También como no quiero que me quieras tú. Y de existencia una relación de dos. No te la perdono, pide la persona Dios. Dile que se olvide la verdad de ti yo. Ando marinando por las calles, tú me besaste. Oyendo las canciones, tú me amargaste.
2 minute warning before we get back on the microphone.
que de Insta, pero por otra cuenta veo tus historias. Tu número lo borré, no sé pa' qué, si me lo sé de memoria. Me hiciste daño, y así te extraño, aunque sé que un día te voy a olvidar. Es complicado, lo que hicimos me gusta recordar. Ando manejando por las calles que me besaste, oyendo las canciones que me marcaste. Pero eso no se pide, pero le pido a Dios que me cuide, porque ando manejando por las calles que me besaste, oyendo las canciones que me marcaste. Pero eso no se pide, mejor le pido a Dios que me cuide. No me pide otra que se parezca a ti, no quiero que comience por ti. Ojalá te enamores.
All right, audience, we're going to get back started with our second round. If you are not in your seat, that's okay. That's okay. Someone's going to steal it and fill it up anyway, so no worries. Thank you for rocking with us. This is Right About Now Poetry. We've been here for 9 years. It will be 10 years next year. And so thank you for supporting art in Houston. Now, for those of you who are sitting down, please come in, grab your seat. If you see an open seat, take it. They left. It's not theirs anymore. It's yours. And as a reminder, if you're new, welcome. When we call up a poet, I'm going to ask, are you ready for the next poet? And you will say, bring them up, bring them up, bring them up. Audience, we ready? Yeah. Oh, okay, that was a good one. We'll try it again. Audience, you ready for the first poet of the second round? Bring them up, bring them up, bring it up. Please get up for Nico Abazajian.
You missed it. We would have gone further. Old shit. I was a software engineer for 3 years. I made enough money to soothe my current fears. Even with inflation, it's a lucrative occupation. I get why my students aspire to be engineers and financially free. It's what my parents wanted for me. The American dream was a ideal they both held and believed. So I'm a product of the American dream. I'm a product of industrial steam, of marketplace competition, of manifest destiny on God's mission. Walk softly and carry a big stick. We got to the moon first, so we got the biggest swinging dick. That's me. Big American energy. I went into energy. I worked out in Katy, serving really obscure places, seeing great cubicles in the same 14 faces. It was a drab office job I thought was peak. I put myself to sleep even as I speak. I didn't wake up to who my employers were until 2 years in. I didn't realize I was a cog in a machine of corporate sin. My second to last employer had to colonize an S5. They were the assholes building the Keystone Pipeline through the lands of the Sioux tribe. I didn't quit then. The money was good and I had an excuse. I was a disgruntled employee, but I did the job, so I was of use. Of use I was, but not for much longer. There was a feeling rising up that came through stronger. My last employer put down the last straw. It was a French chemical company named Albemarle. We're automating a lithium site down in Chile. I thought I'd get to visit and see vistas increíble, pero our purpose was not one of fun. Chile was fighting to nationalize its lithium, so I would ask everyone in the office, why do we do this job when our politics don't agree? If we didn't, someone else would. Might as well be us that gets the money, said the white boy who needed me to translate for him. I'd had enough corporate sin. I quit. How'd I get in this shit? How'd I become a part of the corporate machine fueled by Ohio and greed, working for conformity? That ain't me. I realized my parents in school had the biggest part to play. So I went back to high school, and before you stands a teacher today. I teach kids like me and my immigrant parents too. My number one lesson is to yourself be true and don't aspire to dreams that other people gave you.
Give it up for Nico. right, y'all. Let's keep it rolling so we can get to our feature. Y'all ready for the next poet? Bring him up, bring him up, bring him up. Start clapping, start making noise for Travis Little. Keep clapping till the poet gets on stage.
So if y'all wondering, like, yo, what is this Moreno doing on the stage? My grandmother is Dominican, and the only thing she gave me was her attitude. So bear with me. And speaking of Dominicans, any Dominicans in the area? Yeah, right. So if I say yo, que lo que, you already know what I mean, right? Eh, que lo que, ya tú sabes, right? Cool. So being black and like Latinx, I mean, to me, it's all black anyway. You kind of learn that there's like similarities, right? Like the rhythm is kind of the same. The food is always spicy, you know? The religion is always kind of the same. You feel me? You got voodoo, Santeria, and stuff. So I wrote this poem, and I hope y'all like it. How long God been dead? I said, how long God been dead? A question uttered by a 6-year-old made me pause. Sit back and think. Go through my mind and record records of my existence, my beginning. Like, when did God die? Was it when we was whipped, shipped, chained? Was that the moment? When mama's back was back against the wall, left swollen and bare, bloodied and red. Seems like the only time things were red when people actually read, like, when did God die? Was it crack? Glossing over the lips, I used to scream, black is beautiful, black power, mama, the lights are off. I guess we didn't pay enough. See, sweat equity don't have no value in the greater scheme of things. And speaking of scheming, when did our religion become another scam? To keep you people in line, to keep suffer for a greater cause. Remember when religion was our weapon? We used to use the strength of our ancestors to overtake the masses, yet we out here praying for blessings. It's at the moment God died. When they died, God's pigment. Because that baby said the internet told her that God is a white man. I thought we were made in his image. Who photoshopped the JPEG? Her mama asked her, baby, what make you think God is dead? Now see that? Then she said, because the internet told her that God is a white man. Now see, that make me wonder. What God lives in heaven and makes his children live a meaningless existence? Wait, is God a deadbeat? It's at the moment God died. When our tongues was cut. The words of our oppressors. Cats got your tongue. What spells you casting? That's not black magic. How you claiming God practicing witchcraft? I mean, how many masters can you serve when your vision ain't crystal clear? See, them crystals and rocks ain't gonna save you. It's at the moment God died. Or is it when we forgot that God is a woman, your mother, your nurturer, bearing you 9 months in the womb, and then you turn around and call her a bitch? See, there we go, cursing again. Was that the moment? Or was it when we measured a woman's worth about how wet she could get, how much pain she could bear, for us to just leave, like, comment, and share? See, God need more ties for her OnlyFans. Is that the moment God died? Or was it the crucifixion of Yahshua, the assassination of Fred, Malcolm, Martin, Che Guevara, or when Asada fled? When they bombed the movement, they love to hang things over our heads. They love to hang things over our heads. Give me a second. They love to hang things over our heads. When did God die? Or the question is, whose God died? Because these rappers are saying God did. They make millions off the death of our kids. I mean, they spin the same blocks they refuse to build. Like, when did our skin become collateral? Was it when it was priced over gold? Yeah, we kill ourselves over paper and plastics. I guess we in our bag. Put yourself in the self-far. This is a stick-up, a robbery of oneself. Since you don't know who you are, say your God is dead. You kill God. You get sturdy to the sounds of a cries of agony. You go viral off a demise with a lift over a shoulder, either from a gun or from a holster. I mean, like, why the fuck is you recording while God is dying? I can't save a motherfucker too afraid to save themselves. I've never seen a phoenix rise from weed ashes. Whoever smoke, you better ash that now. From dust to dust, from dusk to dawn. How many dawns gotta be turned into dusk before the dust settles? I mean, like, how many guys gotta die for us to see the bigger picture? Do I gotta turn it into a reel for you to like, to share, to flip cards over like Jesus flipped over tables? I mean, how many hurdles we gotta jump over to prove that we faster and stronger? Like, how can they keep up with God's speed? We too fast to be left in the dust. Sad to say, Gen Z don't know nothing about Genesis, so how can they have revelations? Maybe that's why they say the meek will inherit the earth. You know, that's just rats and roaches, crumb snatchers and snitches. Brought to you by the letters A and I, because nothing else makes sense. See, Laurent may has died on his hills, but it doesn't really matter, because saviors don't make it to hilltops. Last one that did had a cross to bear. The same place a thief finally found God. He witnessed God die there. So what he gonna tell you about the resurrection? My great-grandmother, God bless her soul, she put her hand in the hole. It's crazy what type of impression it left there. To say that God is dead when I see God every day. Problem is, God don't know that they God yet. You got God walking around like Michonne with a katana. You know, the walking dead. But see, me, I walk with a burning spirit because John no dead. God is here. I'm just free talking.
Give it up for Travis Little. Kids be saying the wildest things, yo. So, let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. Y'all ready for the next poet? Start clapping. Start building energy. Start making noise for Shelby Rios.
Okay, wait. Is that good? All right. Okay? Okay, cool. Okay. All right, so this is new shit, all right? It's called The Other Side of the Coin. I have felt desire so consuming that it devoured me. At first, it swallowed me feet first so that I could not leave. Then it swallowed my knees to bend me to its will. It swallowed my torso until I couldn't stomach it anymore. It took my chest and my heart along with it. My throat, it took my last breath, my voice, until I could not speak my own boundaries for fear that you could not handle it. The shadow crawled past my nose, my ears, eyes, till I lost all sense of self, until it reached my mind. All of me was gone. The desire was you. And now you are gone, and so am I, because you took all of me. I wonder if he realizes how much of me I put in him. Will he feel my absence? And if he does, will he feel relieved, or will he long for me the way I longed for him? Pit in my stomach, an elephant on my chest, unable to catch my breath. I have felt desire that has consumed me. You were my universe. That was a lot of pressure, I know, but I have never felt a love like I had for you. Infatuation surrounding my heart, obsessive, compulsive, impulsive, unable to explain, silence, passion, no contact. I wrote you that love poem. It was the art I gave you, a part of me, a symphony. I know I can't blame the BPD attachment, but God knows it didn't help. I told you that you were my world, and you said that you felt the same. So why could you not fight the same? You wanted me to sign my name saying that I will move on, and I could not do it. I sit in limbo waiting for you to come back, praying, begging, pleading to my pillow because all of my friends say is let him. He disrespected me by not being able to look me in the eyes, that it was disrespectful the way you told me you loved me even after abandoning me. But how can I be mad at what I wanted to hear? The first couple of days, all I wanted was to see you. I sang for you during karaoke. I called for you in the wind and listened for you in music, searching for messages on social media. Is that his wall in that girl's picture? Pacing, running, searching, scrambling, and failing. I don't want this. I hate this distance, this standstill. They say no one will love you like someone with borderline, but this is not fun for me. When I said you were my world, I meant it, and it killed me. Every time I saw you, I memorized your face because I never knew when you might leave. I kissed your lips like it was the first time in hopes that you'd remember me. Will you remember me? See, there you go again, making me doubt myself, blame myself. So you know, I'm choosing to be me. I cut my hair and dyed the tips violet, not because of desperation, but because of grief. Because I loved you in the biggest way. And I don't know if that's past tense, but that's okay because I can also love me. I have masked myself for you, and you still made me feel like I was too much. So go find less because you broke my heart, and God, I don't want to say goodbye, but I love you enough to let you go. If time is what you need, then take it. I memorized the way you looked at me because I never know when it might fade. I guess it was last week. I won't say this is my goodbye letter, but I'll say until next time.
Give it up for Shelby Rios. Okay, all right. She was taking your money earlier at the door, but now she will be reading a poem on this stage. Are y'all ready for the next poet? Please start clapping and building energy for Christina Martinez. Woo, woo, woo.
Thank you guys for your money. I have two short-ish poems. They're old because I haven't been up here in a while, but I'm super excited to be on the stage with you guys and just be here. And I'm super happy. I'm so glad to get to know you in the brief, couple of seconds I get to know you guys. I'm super happy to get to know you guys in the brief, 2-3 seconds that I know y'all. Say hello, goodbye, have a great night, good morning, good night, whatever. I have two short poems. They're both old, but it's just people sometimes write and stop. But I love being out here with you guys. The first one is called Martinez, which is my last name. And I'll be reading from my phone. Martinez, mi apellido, my father's and his, traced to origins of fertility and war. Skin glowing in the union of these dynamics, tongue is confused. Of the two languages that dance on it, neither is rooted where I stand. My ancestors confuse me. Skin is the clashing tsunami waves of Spanish traditions on found land, the conquistadores and the families they brought with them, and the indigenous families that have survived them. My religion, mi religión, is of lodged memories, imposed ideals, Catholic baseline for as long as my family can remember, muddy water glazed over my ancestry, otherwise destroyed and rebuilt in the Spaniards' Lord and Savior. I can still feel the echoes
of war drums beating a melody through me, rippling. Standing at the shallows of Galveston waters in the still uncertainty of the waves, I am both the grace of forgiveness and she who receives it. I am both and neither of these horror stories. I am daughter of a fertile war. I cannot pick and choose the horror stories that depict me as a victim. Story me most human, paint me more civilized. Soy hija de una guerra fértil. Sometimes Tenochtitlan, I think, I'm not sure. Or España, una mexicana soy y moriré. No estoy segura de lo que eso significa, but I'm eager to learn, eager to wear this skin, knowing its origin, defending its honor, and standing against its villains. A daughter of a fertilized war, a warrior, maybe Española, maybe Azteca. I am the fruits of their labors, maybe. What's in a name? What's in a country? What's in this complexion if it is unsure? Catholicism, sacrifice down my throat, inhale, a proud heritage, exhale, 1521, inhale, invasive species thriving, exhale, try not to breathe too deeply, shadow breath, try not to breathe too much, in the air has become heavy with smoke, inhale, tear down entire species and cities and rebuild, model new ones after the very towns who banished the Spaniards for praying differently, abolish La Región Azteca for praying differently. Wonder how they die so fast. Wonder how they are exhausted. Survival of the fittest, they say, is a theory coined by invasion and the white man, but theory is not yet proven. I am proof in the flesh that my ancestors, all of them, did survive, that the war has settled within me, that forgiveness is a marvelous dancer, balancing out the war's drums, sweeping the melody clean, that I do not hate Catholicism for the good that it has done, but for serving as a justification for genocide. Then I cannot apologize any more than I can forgive, that I do not owe anyone anything. Thank you. And then I have a super old one that's like 1,000,000 years old, but yay. My Chicana sounds like, hey mami, niña huerca, mesa que más aplauda. Sounds like, girl, you talk too fast, must be running from something. Is it la migra? Sounds like, say, mami, could you talk to me, papi, tonight? Looks like arm candy. Looks like a bed of roses you forgot had thorns. Ya le dije mil veces que no. Sounds like smells like barbacoa y carnitas cada domingo con la familia and seduction at the same time. Whisper sweet nothings in my ear. Chica, am I your sweet nothing, chico? Looks like a fashion trend. Am I Selena Quintanilla enough for you or Kim Kardashian enough? Because apparently they're the same, right? Did you know that speaking two languages literally makes your brain stronger? I overheard a conversation between two adult men. What do you call a man who can't handle a Chicana, a Latina, or anyone brown who, for that matter? Their answer is weak, as if I'm something that needs to be dealt with, as if I'm something has been bred to embody a disaster, as if my culture can offer you is only a frozen buzz with salt, sometimes sugar around the rims, and a headache thereafter, a brain freeze, like how your acceptance of my Mexico has been frozen in time. You made up your mind about years ago about not wanting me and stuck with it. America, a country of its word, a stagnant breed, a culture of habit. If it ain't broke, don't fix it type. All the while, our America is imploding, hating itself to death. I am you and you are me. How is this so difficult to understand? Checkpoint. They inspect our luggage at our borders and pick the goods they'll allow across, like the food, the liquor, the language of love, the time, effort, and labor our hands provide, but quickly reject and send our seeds, or in this case, our people away. Foreign fruit-bearing seeds, our foliage, and invasive species in the land of opportunity. They are natural predators and thrive solely off the love of the land, and they don't allow my father back. Why buy the cow when you can milk the life out of it and call it corruption for free? Pay for the canvas when you can get a photocopy of a photocopy for for pennies on the dollar. Recall the conversation I had with my mother as we try to figure out how to get my father back in one piece. Looks like an invasive species. All he wanted to do was thrive off the love of the land America has taken for granted. With the weight of 4 children and a wife on his back,
Welcome home sounds like bills, sounds like dethroning a king, smells like the blood and sweat it takes to constantly blend in, works harder than any man I've ever met. So forgive me when I do not submit to a man who only half-ass does half the shit my father has proved to me on a daily basis that I am worthy with. Prove to me that you're worthy, papi, niño, huerco, or get the fuck out of my face. Chico. Thank you.
Give it up for Christina Martinez. She is a pillar in our Right About Now community. So, audience, we have a last poet of the night, Amanda Lopez. I'm sorry I couldn't get to you. Come back next week. I'm going to close us out and then bring up our feature Mercedes. Everybody say word? Okay, so audience, please hold your energy and attention because this feature, I'm telling you, you're going to walk away feeling love and happiness and joy. So, and a little So this is a poem I wrote for my wife during National Poetry Month. I would be remiss if I didn't get on this stage and say that we are expecting our firstborn son on December 23rd, 2023. And, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about like the poetry that's going to flow from this. But my wife didn't know she was pregnant early in April. But she was, and we were in the HEB parking lot, and she told me she thought she was depressed. And so before I knew she was pregnant, I wrote this poem for her. And her name's Adela. And it starts with two quotes. One's from the Beach Boys. Gotta go to it, gotta go through it, gotta get with it. And then from the Zombies, this will be our year, taking a long time to come. For Adela. I know sad like bad weather. What you're carrying is not what holds you. See, the hardest thing in the world is to see yourself in the fog. The self loses faith. You tell me you think you're depressed in the parking lot of HEB and nothing else in the world holds my attention but you. I see you. Choose your words like avocado in the produce section. Looking for language soft to the touch. The whole world has been too much, too much, too much, too hard, too loud, too hard to love. Where you are is not where you want to be. I know that song. See, the sun has set and night is here now. And I drive with the radio turned low, a buzz of frequency to stifle the silence between your words. Take your time. Take all the time. In fact, stop time, forget time, fuck linear time. Speak when the thought arrives. Cry as much as you need. Sometimes we tell a story we're still writing, not knowing the ending. See, remember the story I was telling you about the factory worker in Pennsylvania who thought she was going to burn alive in a chocolate factory? See, there was an explosion, and she thought the flames would consume her. And when the floor finally gave way, she fell into a vat of chocolate. She fell into chocolate. The moment that brought terror and fear ended with her survival. My love, don't underestimate the secret vats of chocolate in your life, waiting to catch you in your moments of need. Please don't run from yourself, my wife, my best friend, love of my life, tia and hija and mija and madre now. If you're going to fall into my chocolate vat arms. Thank you. And then And then 10 days later, she told me she was pregnant. So let's share that joy and let's keep this energy going. I'm going to read this bio and y'all are going to fucking listen because this is worth hearing. Mercedes Holtry is a new Mexican published performance poet, mentor, community organizer, teaching artist, and Chicana feminist who focuses on bringing out her roots, experiences, and lessons learned through her poetry in hopes that they embrace her culture and other artists around her. See, Mercedes has represented Albuquerque, New Mexico on multiple final and semifinal stages for the National Poetry Slams. She is a Brave New Voices finalist from 2013. That means she's been performing poems since she was a youth. A two-time finalist at the Women of the World Poetry Slam. Wow, whips! A national group peace champion. I was in the audience in Atlanta, Georgia, when Albuquerque, New Mexico won the group peace finals, and damn, did they deserve to win. She is the winner of the Modesto Illis Slam in 2017, an amazing poetry slam in California of National Poets Invited. She was a featured poet in Mexico City's Diverso, an international poetry festival embracing Mexican voices through poetry. And she holds not one, not two, but multiple Albuquerque Slam championships. Multiple! She has 2 books, very little copies though. I Bloomed a Resistance from My Mouth and My Blood is Beautiful, along with various publications embodying her experience that navigates her culture, home, identity, place, feminism, family dynamics, and womanhood. She often writes about the things she wished she would have responded with but didn't, and her reflection of the places and people she comes from. Since graduating from the University of New Mexico with her degree in Chicano Studies in Journalism and Communications in 2016, she continues to cultivate poetry slam community in Albuquerque, Berkeley, and co-founded and spearheaded Berkeley Revolt, an intergenerational poetry slam organization that creates safe spaces for all ages to enjoy. She is passionate, if you couldn't tell, about spoken word and aspires to continually learn all she can about this platform, art form, through working, performing, organizing opportunities for her community, and she just got engaged, y'all. So let's build that energy, start clapping, start building noise. I don't see you clapping over there. I don't see you clapping over there or over there. Put your hands together for Mercedes Holtry.
The old man from the coffee shop asks for my name. I write Mercedes Holtry on a piece of paper. He stares at it. Holtry, huh? If you're Chicana, how did you end up with a German last name? Ah, you must be a coyote, a child of mixed blood. What he means to assume is you must be a bastard, a mutt, mongrel, vagabond, impure, complicated, messy, messed up, a monstrosity. You're one of those people, huh? Your parents are 2 opposite flavors and swirly fucked you into existence. You're all Spanish accent and light skin, all long dark hair and freckles, too ghetto for AP placement, not brown enough to be called Mexican. You were that kid, I bet. Always having to prove your split tongue, always having to hear whispers about the skin you're in, the assumptions about where your blood comes from. Sangrona, the brown girls would say. She thinks she's all that because she's half white, talking smack in Spanish as if my grandmother never taught me how to cuss in our native tongue, answering questions like, you know Spanish, are you Spanish? What about Hispanic? You kind of look Latina, there's no way you're Mexican. You look white to me. If you're white, why do you pretend to be brown? You know Mexican's not a race, right? What's your dad? Your mom's from Mexico eventually. The questions and assumptions write themselves into a history lesson. My blood is the story of 9 million Americans who, like me, check the other box on the census. I am the walking definition of rape, kill, and conquer. Birth from oppress and oppressor. I am Aztec indigenous woman and Spanish conquistador. My ancestors were the ones mistaken for white gods and also the ones enslaved into patriarchy. I am part recognize your privilege and never forget your struggle. Part Mexican mother and American father. Part traceable to the root root in part accepting the unknown. In the 17th century, the system of castas was based on the accepted knowledge of the character and quality of people, varied according to their birth, race, color, and origin of ethnic types, and soon every name they call you only places you back on a list of social stratification: mestizo, castizo, Spaniard, mulatto, morisco, albino, torna atrás, lobo, cambucho, albarazado. It all translates to mixed blood. Blood that is not pure. You are not pure, the old man tells me with his face. America loves pure, and you are messy, different, disordered, brewed, kneaded, and fused together. I nod my head proudly as if to say, yeah, I'm a walking history lesson. Proof that we all come from the same tree, but eventually outgrow our roots. So yes, I am a mix of things. But what I am not is a fucking identity crisis. Some kind of chemistry experiment. America's ignorant assumptions about who I am and what I feel. My character belongs to me. My identity belongs to me. My blood belongs to me. And I'll be damned if anyone calls my blood anything but beautiful. What's up, Houston? How y'all doing tonight? Kyo vole, my name's Mercedes Holtree. I'm a Chicana poet from Albuquerque, New Mexico, born and raised. Burque, yeah. Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. It's been a minute since I've been asked to be a featured poet in like an awesome space like this. I've been wanting to get to WAN. I'm so Mexican, I've been calling it one poetry. I want to get to one poetry, right? So I'm stoked to be here. It's been a fucking crazy like 3 years. COVID, right? I had a baby. My grandfather died. I got engaged just like 2 weeks ago. It's life. Thank you. Life kind of just gets ahead of you, and then sometimes you kind of forget that artistic side of you. And I'm thankful for all the Houston poets. I'm here for asking me to come out tonight. It's lovely to be here. It's hot as fuck, but I was like, my face is sweaty, and I'm like wiping it with my hand, but then my hand is also sweaty, so like there's just sweat everywhere. Cool. I'm gonna just keep it going. I'm gonna do a poem about. Okay, so context. I started my own poetry slam venue, community, open mic night, whatever. Yeah, right? Everyone's like, yeah, that's great. But the men in the community weren't as excited for me because Albuquerque sometimes can be kind of like that patriarchy, like, no, this is the only slam that exists because it exists since forever. And so when I broke out, there was some drama that went down, right? There's the T right there. So I wrote this poem in response to that, and it's called Strong Woman. Strong women. When you show up, the world is thankful for your arrival until they're not. Everyone wants a strong woman in their corner until the lightning storm that is her mouth strikes the tree stump that is a man's ego, setting it on fire until the entire patriarchy of a forest burns to the ground. We lightning storms be that way sometimes, unapologetically charged and ready for a revolt. Let's dance with the rain. When the patriarchy tells you, you don't move until I say you're ready to move, little girl. You show them just how well your hips and your heart and your feet move to the beat of a cumbia. You dance circles around these fools. Let the sweat dripping from your body be your anthem. Just move, love. Move like you are the sound waves, the bass, the melody, the hum of bees, the speed of hummingbird wings. You are a force of nature, a bringer of truths, a voice waiting to stand the test of time, and they will try and silence you. Like your ancestors aren't rooting for you in the form of thunder gritando, ándale, mija. We didn't die for you to be dormant. Be active, be beautiful. Wake up and kiss the dawn. Breathe like the air belongs to you. Dream like the stars are within arm's reach, and don't you dare stop moving when they tell you to stand still. Show up like you got nothing to lose, because you don't. Show up because without you, Who fucking knows what messes these men will make, and you ain't nobody's maid or mama until you choose to be, so don't cover up or clean up their catastrophes. Instead, make your own. Drop the pain and the paint into a masterpiece and title it Love. Title it The Things I'm Willing to Do to Make Things Better. Title it Self-Transformation. Then watch how the dreams turn into the manifestations you dreamed about. There's a certain power that comes with being woman, and it's the power for turning pain into beauty. We don't just birth whole ass humans through blood and stretched skin. We birth bonds and sisterhood, leadership and community. We take the scraps of paper and fold our success origami style so that our paper cranes would soar farther than we ever thought they would, so that no one can ever tell us, I told you you can't fly. Shh, ain't that funny? They thought we wouldn't learn to use our wings one day so we could show up Phoenix style, rising through the ashes. Now we respond. I told you there was no stopping me. I am the creator of my own destiny. My spirit cannot be tamed. So take your pity, your shame, your disdain, and your own pain, because I no longer carry what does not belong to me. I carry what matters, whether that be my family, my history, my community, my victories, and I will always show up. That's what makes me a strong woman. That's what makes me me. That's what makes me a storm of lightning. You just never know when it's going to show up. Thank you.
Make some noise for your feature. This will be the only time I interrupt. Are you enjoying Mercedes Holtree from Albuquerque, New Mexico? Okay, so we have a tip jar and a physical one, and I'm going to put some cash in here so I'm not a hippopotamus. I'm going to pass it down, put some money in here. We also have a virtual tip jar. I believe that's Cash App and Venmo. You heard, just got engaged. You ever plan a wedding? Shit. Anna Mama, she has only like 2 books, but I bet you if you talk with Mercedes afterwards, maybe there's some other merch she got. But tip jar, pass it around. Virtual tip jar. Give it up for your poet feature, Mercedes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I only got 1 book to give away tonight or to sell tonight. And I know that sounds crazy, like 1 book. Who's gonna see? That's awesome. And I'm so unprepared, y'all. It was supposed to be someone else's, and I wrote to Charles. So I will scratch that out and write it to you if you want this book that Charles did not pick up 3 years ago. Or if there's a Charles in the audience. I also have one to Reina, so queen, like you're a queen, right? It could all mix in. Anyway, 1 book. I think we're gonna do like the highest tip on the virtuals, on the Venmo or the Cash App, and it's yours. You can have it. Okay, cool. I'm gonna read from it. So I gotta do this poem because I'm in Texas, and the DJ's been playing a lot of bops. So this one goes out to one of my idols, an ode to Selena. They told you you were from being legendary, that you would never make it in this business, that this music and this language did not belong in the mouth of a woman. They told you you were too pocha to fill a stadium in Mexico. Your genre was too Mexican to be American dream worthy. The fans wouldn't give you that credit. The crowd wouldn't crown you queen, wouldn't call you reina, wouldn't dance the sound of your voice at every quince, every boda, every cumple, every chance, on every dance floor. That little chavalitas like me wouldn't learn every word to every song, wouldn't learn the language of your hips, mimic your feet, and force our tongues to dance esta cumbia, a cantar en español. Like we wouldn't teach the next generation to do the same. They told you didn't fit just right, but somewhere down the line, I think you realized that identity was never fixed for you, fronteriza, bending and breaking boundaries. Your nationality was your music, and your music was your people, and there was no barrier big enough to stop you. Then everywhere, girls like me learned that being brown was way better than being Britney or Christina or Madonna, that we could look and speak and sing and dance like there was no such thing as a border, just an enormous dance floor that stretched across what was once Mexico and then some. We dance and sing in your memory because it reminds us of who we are, that we are not a forbidden people, that this is right where we belong. On this dance floor we call home, we will always celebrate because we are legendary, just the way you left us. This is more than just music. Más que esta música, que este baile y estas canciones, this is our legacy too. When you passed, the world lit a candle and set roses on fire y como la flor. You still burn bright in our memory. Your voice blasting through the speakers. A reminder that we could never be forbidden. And you can never be, will never be forgotten. Thank you. How much time do I have? Okay, cool. Cool. Raise your hand if you have a mom who is Latina. Hey. Or indigenous or Native American. I feel like this kind of relates to a lot of different cultures. So yeah, I'm gonna spit it, and it's called matriarch. And it's for all the mamas and the tias and the ninas, the madrinas that took part in raising us, because it takes a village to raise a child, and it takes a really strong village to raise a chingona woman. So this poem is matriarch. Our culture is all about el respeto, about the values we hold closer than the Spanish dancing on our tongues. At the family gathering, mi abuela says, mija, serve your man a plate. And I respectfully do so, with love, in fact. But even abuela knows. Mistake a brown woman's kindness for weakness, respect for subservience, love for obedience, and your machismo can vete la chingada along with your Euro-white feminism. You will awaken el volcán sitting dormant behind the barriers in her chest. Her blood will boil something fierce. Shit will start flying all over the place. I've seen my 5'2" Mexican mother throw a frying pan farther than John Elway could launch a football. Call a brown woman weak and watch how the household crumbles like mazapan, like dried mud, cracked skull, how your household becomes something fragile like eggshells. Mistake a brown woman's power of choice for anything less, and you can guarantee she will find a way to show you who's really the head of the household. And the hands, the feet, the eyes, the backbone. Without her, we are spineless, only flesh, never seeking holiness. We, spiceless chile and soggy frijoles and tortillas quemadas, tell a brown woman that she isn't worthy, and watch how everything you love turns to ash, how she will leave with fire and burn everything on her way out. But ask a brown woman to love you, and she will split her body in half, put you in the middle so that you are protected on all sides. She will birth you again and again, teach you how to love from scratch, show you to be more soul than body, more spirit than mind. She will crack the sky open if it means you get to see God a little closer. She will pray for you, knees bent, hands laced tightly. She will light every candle in the room, burn sage as La Virgen de Guadalupe to give you the motherly guidance that she cannot. Cross your forehead with an egg and pray for your spirit to be cleansed. Tell a brown woman that she isn't woman enough, that her love isn't enough, that her home isn't enough, that her spirit isn't enough. And watch how the patriarchy crumbles beneath her chanclas. She will remind you just who the fuck you're talking to. A voice scarier than man soy yo, cabrón. No me falte respeto porque te meto un chingazo. And you will believe her, because a brown woman's word is greater than gold, a solid promise, an even bigger threat. No one can question her because she is great-grandmother, abuela, mamá, tía, hermana, amiga, amor por vida, prima, chola, ruca chingona, bruja, hija, llorona, mijita, the mera mera jefita, madrina. She is the matriarch. You will honor her always, and she will love you forever. Thank you. You guys doing okay? Woo. I didn't have a bandana, so I'm using my daughter's shirt. I'm like, how do you guys do it? Oh my goodness. I'm used to hot because New Mexico's hot, but not humid. I was gonna try to straighten my hair. Fuck no, not in this heat. It's crazy. Shit is crazy. I'm good. I'm sweaty, but I'm fantastic. Okay. I'm gonna read new shit. So I'm a proud Albuquerque woman, Burqueña, and so I take home with me wherever I go. So this poem's for everybody back home in Burque. And yeah. So I get, let me just explain. Who's ever been to Albuquerque? Raise your hand. Hey, okay, more than I expected. If you have not been to Albuquerque, it's not just Breaking Bad. There's a lot of Breaking Bad. That's real shit. There is some real shit around that. But it's not just that. 3 things you should know before I do this poem. 1, there is a homeless gentleman named Don Schrader, and the entire city protects him with their life. He is really old. He is a proud gay man, and he wears booty shorts and a rainbow flag walking down Central, and everyone just takes care of him. So that's Don Schrader. Another thing about Albuquerque is we were force-fed green chili since we were like old enough to eat. And Johnny Tapia, a world-renowned boxer, is like a hometown hero. Nobody talks shit about Johnny Tapia, okay? Those are the 3 things I'm going to say before I do this poem. Here we go. Oh. Someone once called me the embodiment of burke. Like when they think of Albuquerque, they think of me. Like, you're so burke. Your poetry is so burke. Your accent is so burke. Your face, bro, is so burke. Man, you Albuquerque girls are something else with your green chili chicken enchiladas and your big, beautiful brown eyes that just scream. What the fuck you looking at? Like, you're so burke is a backhanded compliment when it's coming from someone who isn't from Albuquerque, because let's face it, if you weren't raised by these sunsets, if the goat heads don't call your feet home, if the mountains don't tell you, east is this way, fool. Every time you're lost, if you don't lick your sticky fingers after eating a sopapilla with honey and were force-fed green chili by the time you were old enough to speak, if you don't know the old man wearing booty shorts walking down Central is actually named Don Schrader, do you even know what so Albuquerque is? Or perhaps you mean so burque the way you mean so gente, so raza, so underdog, so underestimated, so overlooked, so proud. As I should be, bitch. We ain't perfect, Albuquerque and I. It's complicated. I know. I'm so Albuquerque because blood doesn't scare me the way it should. Desensitized the sound of a gunshot triggered by a look like, no, really, what the fuck you looking at is the scratch most of us are just dying to itch. And where you from might just be the last question you ever answer if you're in the wrong place with the wrong people. Like, maybe I'm so burque because most of my family in Wells Park is either in prison or homeless, but fuck it. I still threw chingazos at the bar fight with them. Maybe I'm so burque because my mother used to get gum spit in her hair for being a mojada. And I carry that story with me because my mother, she didn't cry. She pulled the wad from her hair and curled her hands into fists, and the boys stopped calling her wetback and started calling her crazy. So crazy stuck, but the gum didn't. Maybe I'm so burque because my pops is ink with calavera roses for sleeves, and the way his Chicano outshines the brightest light in the room, you either really love him or you really envy him, and that's the way a lot of people feel about burque too. Maybe I'm so burque because, like most burqueños, I was taught it doesn't matter if Johnny Tapia was a drug addict. He's a hometown hero. He put on for the city. Like, his trauma doesn't define him. Like, my trauma doesn't define me. Like, the trauma on the streets don't define Albuquerque. Our demons are just demons, and the boxing ring our salvation. We spend so much time fighting in Albuquerque. So maybe you mean I'm a fighter. Maybe you mean I come from a lot of blood. Maybe you mean I'm a redemption story, or maybe I'm doomed to be the tragedy that turns into an urban legend, and I'm okay with that. I'm so burque, but you say that with a hint of salt stashed behind your teeth. It's all good. Burque might be all bad, but sabes que? It taught me to love the parts of me that ain't perfect the same way I love the cracks in their sidewalks. Burque be the brightest color in the crayon box, and we don't just break bad, we break bread or tortillas if you want to get real. So pull up a seat and listen to the magic of stories weaved in many languages. This place, contrary to your negative connotations, is sacred. We forget it holds beauty, but are reminded by the bosque how she whispers in spring. It's all good, mija. Keep it moving. And so I do with my Zia tattoo and my green chili stew and all the beautiful ways I've learned to be, because my hometown taught me community is key. Loyalty goes a long way, so I got your back if you got mine. Yeah, I'm so burque, so what y que? And burque is so me. Always has been, always will be. Can I do a sad poem? I'm sorry. I'll do a better, like a happy-ish poem after, but I think I really got to get this one out because it's been waiting to get some ears on it. And it's very sad. I might cry, not gonna lie, but I feel safe in this space. So I'm gonna go for it. Sad shit. All right. Oh, nope, that's not it. Okay, here you go. So yeah, I guess trigger warning: death of family member, and COVID. So here he goes. I think of loss, and I think of my grandfather's smile. I'll never see it again in this flesh. I never got to see it for the last time on earth, but I see him everywhere. I hear his voice in a mariachi song. I feel his warmth when I break open pan dulce. I smell his spirit in the cafecito I made this morning. I hugged him in a dream and told him, sorry. He told me, está bien, mija. And we laughed the whole night until I woke in the morning. I know my pain is not unique. Not this year, anyway. So many of us have lost under the weight of this pandemic, and in the same breath I take after swallowing death, I inhale the possibility of new life. I cup the bottom of my belly and my heart sings las mañanitas. I pray so hard for the strength it takes to be a good mother. Everyone always asks, what's your New Year's resolution? To which I reply, to give birth. As my papa would say, si Dios quiere. If God wills it this year, I will birth a daughter. And that's all I have energy for. I hope she will have her father's eyes. His turn honey brown in the sunlight. Mine are big like black holes, which isn't a bad thing, but this year has been so full of darkness. I could use the light. Regardless, I'm just praying she'll have eyes that can see a world that isn't heavy set on grieving all the time. I'm just praying for eyes that see more Garden of Eden than Revelation. The scary part about bringing life into the world is I won't be always able to cover my child's eyes like my mother couldn't always cover mine and her father. My grandfather couldn't cover hers. I saw his body at the funeral. It was not my first time seeing a dead body, but it might as well have been. Funny thing about death is it makes you contemplate life, not just your own, but the people who will live beyond you, how we all end up leaving people, sometimes without time to say goodbye, and all that's left of us is an empty shell they put makeup on and your best dress just so they can turn you into ashes or stick you in the ground. I didn't want to think of my grandfather burning. My memories of him will always be us laughing at the kitchen table over scalding caldo with tortillas de maíz, poquito quemados, just like how he liked them. Or him wiping the sweat from his brow after working in the hot sun, but not burning. You can't burn something already made from fire. I know my little one will inherit that same flame. I pray she gets my grandfather's sense of humor. She'll need it to live a long life with eyes that will see more than they bargained for. I can be the best mother, and still pain is a universal feeling no human can ever cheat, but at least if I can't cover my baby's eyes, I can teach her how to laugh in the face of adversity, how to have pride in every mistake she cleans up, how to fester in her joy, how to enjoy food at the table with her elders, how to make note of all the little things that make a person special, how to build a life and put it back together when it falls apart, how to pull the resilience from her blood. I can't birth her into a world of love, but I can teach her to find love in the pockets she least expects. I can show her how to laugh hard until her belly aches. They ask, what's the New Year's resolution? And I say to give birth. I cup my belly and I know grieving is a part of life. And the fluttering I feel inside my womb tells me healing isn't far away. Thank you. Special shout out to my papa in heaven. Hey. He's probably like, yee, cabrona. You're all sweaty. Wipe your face. Just kidding. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to get out of your hair. It was really beautiful to be here tonight. Thank you so much for listening to my poems. Yeah. Let's take a shot of tequila after this. I don't know how to end this the right way. Cool. All right. Alrighty. Let's see here. All right, since I just got engaged like 2 weeks ago, I'm gonna do a poem for my querido. He's in the back with my daughter, our daughter. And it was his birthday Monday, so well, he's actually been sober for 4 years, so I'm really proud of him for that. You can buy me tequila shots. I will celebrate for him. And actually, it's kind of funny. It's ironic. Before COVID happened, we were bar rats. We were like always at the bars, me and him. And you know, it is what it is. But a lot of really awesome memories came from that. And so this is a funny poem back in our downtown days, and it's called "The Color Friday." Dirty martini? No, baby. You and I are the color of Jägermeister. Black licorice, the dark emerald green of the bottle. My head is still spinning, and I stopped drinking that shit when I was 23. But you are a taste my mouth refuses to get rid of. No chaser, no citrus fruit to sink my teeth in or press my tongue to afterwards. I effortlessly swallow you. I've never been the salted olive green, thin stem, sex in the city type drink of a woman, but I think that's why you like me, right? We're more the color of Friday night downtown in Albuquerque, decade-old Christmas lights, the ones that glow behind a cheap bar. The orange ember of a cigarette flicked outside of Launchpad. The bartender's sapphire-colored contacts that match so inappropriately with her Azteca brown skin. The cherry-red lowrider bumping South Park Mexican. The charcoal-colored smoke of the burnout he does slowly afterwards. The golden luminosity of an Indian pale ale from La Cumbre Brewing Company, or the banana gloom of a double white from Marble. The turquoise necklace the homeless man is trying to slang for $5. The indigo sky that fades into a darkness we are not afraid of. My black Sharpie covered over scuffed boots and the burgundy red chili stain on your jeans. The canyon colored lipstick Jessica is wearing. The violet bruise Amanda will find when she remembers she fell home. The lime green pack of American spirits in Joe's pocket. The booming neon green laughter of all our friends and the warm sandia pink love they have for our love. We're Friday night, baby. But really, my favorite is when we are the color of Sunday, sand skin tangled in rose-colored sheets, dreaming of the color Friday. Cool. Thank you so much, Houston. I really appreciate all of you guys. Yeah, if you want that one book, I'm just gonna see who puts the highest tip on the Venmo. So whatever you think it deserves. I'm gonna be like, hey, you bid the highest, you get the book. Because I only have one, because I stopped working with my publisher, or vice versa. I don't know what it was. But anyway, love y'all. Have a beautiful, safe night. Thank you for having me so much. And if you're ever in Albuquerque, hit me up. Peace.
Houston, make some noise for your feature Mercedes Ho 3 all the way from Albuquerque, Berkeley, New Mexico. If you don't know about ABQ, now you know. The poetry community there is strong. Mercedes is a beautiful example of poetry, and I just hope you had a great time.